This week, we are going to focus on error handling and debugging. As a quick reminder, please post your mini showcase to last week's discussion by midnight on the 14th. Because then this next week, you will be looking at your classmates' milestone 1 projects and providing feedback. You need to provide feedback to at least 4 people. And in addition to reviewing those projects, we are going to get into Chapter 10, Error Handling and Debugging. We've done a little bit already, and this is just going to teach you some additional techniques, techniques that you should be already familiar with from programming. It's just how to do them in JavaScript. Once you're done with Chapter 10, you're going to go through the key concepts. And again, I did include videos up at the top on all of the major sections here. And we basically get into detecting and preventing errors, talk about the different types of errors that can occur, and maybe what those errors look like when you look in the different developer consoles. And so I do have an error purposefully created here that you guys can take a look at. Just press F12. And if you look on different browsers, you'll notice that the information that is displayed can be a little different amongst the browsers. We get into logic errors and how you can detect and correct those. And then probably my favorite thing that I do is I use the developer console, and I will log the value of variables so I can see what the program is doing. One of the most useful techniques there is, so we cover how to do that as well. In fact, we go through different console commands. Console.log is, again, my favorite, but there are different commands that you can use. So I've got quite a bit of information on that. Also, breakpoints that you have used in traditional programming can be used in JavaScript. So we cover how to add breakpoints to your programs. And then if you have added breakpoints, how do we continue the processing of the program? Very similar to what you would do in a traditional programming. That can also be done in JavaScript. Then we talk a little bit about error detection and error handling. We've already used is not a number, which is one of the more powerful error detection functions that we have in JavaScript. But you can see that there are some others. We've also got conversion functions like parse float and parse int. So we talk about all of those. Then we get into the different math functions and what they do. Finally, we get into exception handling. So JavaScript does have try, catch, throw, and finally. Try and catch is something that is in pretty much all programming languages. And this just explains how to incorporate try and catch into your JavaScript programs. And we've got an example that you guys are quite familiar with that I converted and added try catch to. And we haven't talked much about the error object, if at all, and JavaScript does have a built-in error object. So you're going to learn about that and how to create your own custom error handling. So you can create your own throw statements. So how would you go about doing that? This explains it. And then there are examples. And once you get done with that, there is a programming assignment. And what you're going to be doing is adding the try, catch, throw, and finally into another program that you are familiar with, which is the How Old Are You program. The code has validation. You just need to incorporate the exception handling into the code. So this is similar to what I did with the wind chill. And then I have another example for you to look at as well. Here is another one that you are going to be downloading. This is a guessing game. And for this one, you need to add data validation and incorporate the exception handling. So for this one, it is a fully functioning game. You just need to add those validation and exception handling components. And really, the only thing that you have to worry about validating is the guess. So the guess has to be a number, and the number needs to be between 1 and 100. And that's all you need to worry about validating, because everything else in here is computer generated. Then you will be working on a Canvas game tutorial, and this is what's going to take probably the most time. And so the first link takes you to W3 Schools, and you are basically going to go through and create the game. So you'll be walking through each of these, and I've got you going all the way through game sound, which is down here. But if you want to continue and do the gravity, the bouncing, the rotation, go ahead. I'm not requiring that you go that far, but you can if you would like to. If you want to use this as one of your term project games, you can, but then you can't have the square and the rectangles. So let me show you what I'm talking about. I don't want the square and the rectangles. If this is going to be one of your term project games, then you need to do something a little bit more like this. Or you could actually get it so that the graphic moves with your mouse, or the graphic moves with the arrow keys. And you do need to have a little different background than squares and rectangles. Also, I do have another example. This one has some sound. It is quite loud, but it works with the arrow keys. So there are a couple examples for you to work with, and this can be one of your games. Okay, so that is the assignment. And then once you finish working on that, you do need to create a GitHub account for your final project repository. And if you click on the link, this does kind of walk you through how to do that. And if you need help, you can come into office hours or live stream class, and I'd be happy to walk you through this. Then there is a problem solving assignment. So if you're in the live stream class, I'm going to put you into small groups and assign you a problem. And then the group will work on that. And then you're going to basically figure out what the error is, transfer the corrected problem to your website, And if you're in a group, you can all transfer it or one of you can. I just need to know who's in the group, and this is for the live stream class. If you're an online student, then you'll be working independently and you can pick whatever problem you want. But you're going to transfer the correction to your website and then you're going to mark done. So to mark done, make sure that you come in here and that you add done in here and save it. Okay, and the reason you need to do that is that you cannot get into the discussion until you are done solving the problem. Because the discussion, and you'll notice that I'm in student view and I can't even get into it right now. The discussion, you are going to indicate which problem you solved, what the solutions were, and what you found easy or difficult about the exercise. And then you're going to reply to 2 other postings. So you aren't going to be able to get in here until you've actually come in here and solved a problem. So if I picked one of those, downloaded it and solved it, and then said done, and I'm not even certain because I'm not an official student in the class if it's going to even let me in here. Yeah, it's not. Hold on a minute. I'll go back to being an instructor. All right, now I'm back in instructor mode here so I can get in. Okay, so once you have submitted done, you should be able to get in here and you can add your discussion topic. Okay, and you're just going to make sure that you answer those questions and then reply to 2 other people. Okay, so those are the assignments that are due this week. Because we are creating our GitHub repo and we are uploading the first version of our term project, a lot of students have questions about what README files are. So I did provide that resource here. I provided additional information about HTML5 Canvas. And then I've also posted instructions for the term project milestone 2, which is not due until after spring break. So as you're working on this, if you have questions or if you run into problems, please let me know because I am here to help you.